like Gary's just...
Many of us have scarring and war wounds on our bodies which don't bother us in the slightest. We may even wear them with pride. But what if you do have a scar that you're quite self-conscious of? Is there anything that can be done to reduce the mark? Well, the answer is yes. And so recently I visited the Mulrooney Clinic in Dublin to learn more. Ciara, our viewers will of course know you from Ireland AM. I know you as my buddy, and one day when we were chatting, you were telling me about a scar that you're a little bit conscious of in your shoulder. What happened?
Yes, so this is the scar here. It was last July. It was the morning of my brother's wedding. He got married abroad, and there was no hairdresser nearby, so my sister volunteered to curl my hair with hot curling tongs. She was busy curling my hair, and I remember a song came on the radio, Beyonce. And of course, we were very excitable that morning, and we started to dance, and the curling tongue, the hot curling tongue, knocked off my skin, and I was left with this burn. Within a couple of days it began to blister, and then it began to scab, and then a couple of months later, I suppose, when eventually the scab fell off, I realised I had been left with this scar, which some people mightn't say is very significant, but I was really, really disappointed. I am getting married this summer, and I probably would have worn a strapless dress or an off-the-shoulder dress. And for that day in particular, I don't want to be self-conscious of this mark.
Of course, all of us have scars of some sort or another all over our bodies from war wounds over the years. But is this something that you're particularly conscious of because of where it is?
It does actually bother me a little bit. I think if it was somewhere that I couldn't see or that wasn't ever going to be exposed, I wouldn't care.
Catherine, can you tell me exactly how scars are formed on the skin?
Well, I suppose scarring is a result of a natural healing process that takes place when the skin is traumatised. So when the skin is traumatised, the underlying tissue is disrupted, and as a result of that, it kickstarts a healing process within the skin. And normally when the healing process is finished, there will be some residual or scar tissue on the surface of the skin. So the severity of a scar depends on a couple of different things. So the size of the trauma, or the incision, or the gash as it may be called, the depth of it, also the location on the body. So the upper part of the body tends to scar more than the lower part of the body. This is known as the cloak distribution. So the head, the neck, the chest, the shoulder area tends to scar worse than the rest of the body.
How long has laser treatment been available in this country, and how can it help with the healing of the scarring?
So laser has been available in Ireland probably since the 90s. More recently, since the noughties, we now have resurfacing lasers, which are a lot more predictable than previous resurfacing lasers and work beautifully on scars, and are in fact FDA approved for the treatment of acne scarring and various other scars and stretch marks. And this is called Fraxa laser. Simply put, it resurfaces a fraction of the skin at a given treatment. So generally speaking, the treatment regime is a course of laser treatments so that you're covering the entire surface of the scar. So I guess lasers can help quite dramatically, anything up to about a 50 to 60% improvement. However, it won't entirely cure the area.
After a consultation and chat with Dr. Mulrooney, Ciara was happy to proceed with a laser treatment session. Well, ladies, I didn't hear any squeals from the waiting room. How did you get on?
It was absolutely fine. I mean, there is a little bit of discomfort, but it's completely manageable.
Is it really?
It's completely manageable. I mean, you wouldn't be frightened of doing it again or being put off in any way.
Well, that's good to know. How did she get on in terms of her scar, Catherine?
Very well. You can see that it has taken the energy very nicely. We've got a nice pinkish discoloration at the top of the scar, which is what we're looking for. And the lower part of the scar looks like it'll heal very nicely, possibly slightly better than the upper part of the scar. But we'll continue with the treatment, and we'll possibly repeat again in about a month's time. And we will hope to do a complete course of about 5 sessions, spaced 1 month apart.
So successful first visit, Ciara. We'll get you into that strapless wedding dress yet.
Thank you, Catherine.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Catherine.